Microsoft just rolled out agent mode in Excel, and most finance pros don't realize what that actually means for their career. Because Excel can now do a lot of what people used to get paid to do. And if your main value is being really good at Excel, that value just quietly plummeted. I used to be the Excel guy, the one everyone relied on, the person who fixed broken models, rebuilt spreadsheets, and saved the day when something went sideways. But then I realized something really uncomfortable. Being great at Excel was quietly capping my career. So I replaced almost all of that work with systems that now run without me. If you've built your reputation on being fast in Excel, then you know this trap. You're the go-to person, always busy. You fix broken model. You crank out decks at the last minute. Everyone depends on you, but you're rarely in the room where the real decisions happen because you're behind a spreadsheet. And that's the hidden career tag. The better you are at Excel, or really any tool, the more execution work you attract. Not more influence, not more leverage, just more work. Being indispensable at Excel makes you useful, but it doesn't make you promotable. Let me show you what I mean by system. What you're looking at here is my AI CFO setup. It's a system, it's not one tool. I've got agents here for treasury, accounting, FP&A. They pull data, they analyze drivers, flags issues, and it can even draft executive commentary. Now, what that means in practice is that the system is doing the first pass of thinking before a human ever touches the file. Now, I want to give you an example of what happens when you chat with this tool. So let's go ahead and put in a pretty typical question. So let's go ahead and ask it, how should I handle unpaid invoices? Now, what we're looking for, again, we've got the three tools here. We've got FP&A, accounting, and treasury, and we've got our core AI agent, which is acting as our AI CFO using all of its departments. So in theory, the unpaid invoice question, it's primarily an accounting question, maybe a little bit of treasury. So let's see how it handles it. We'll send this away. You'll see the AI agent's now running. You'll see that it's processing. It's got some memory going on, and soon the AI agent should hand this task off to someone on its virtual team. And look at that. It's handed off on the virtual team. It's now with the accounting tool. So the AI agent is still running, but the specialized accounting tool, the accounting department as we've built it, is running this task for us. Now, when it's done, it's going to pass it back to our CFO, to our main AI agent, to answer the question the user asked. Now, think about this. What I'm doing here is I'm just showing you a chat bot for questions and answers, but you can attach files, you can attach documents, you can connect this to your financial information. All of that can be at your fingertips, processed by these tools before you ever have to touch it. And here comes back our response. It's our executive response. Handling unpaid invoices will differ whether they are an accounts receivable or an accounts payable. And that's true. I didn't clarify that. So it's saying if it's an accounts receivable, if they're unpaid, you typically maintain a receivable, evaluate collectability, all of these great instructions. If it's an accounts payable, here's what you need to do to proceed. And then the routing. So this is kind of the back end detail that you can use to feed into other tools or other systems. But how cool is that? An entire CFO team. Think about this like an iPhone, right? It's the infrastructure. It's not all that impressive by itself, but start plugging in other tools and you can run entire processes with your own team of CFO and their departments that never sleep and work 24/7. How cool is that? With this tool, instead of me explaining variances, the system can explain them first. Instead of me setting up decks, the system prepares decision-ready insight. At this point, Excel isn't doing the thinking. The system is doing the thinking and setting me up to make the decision. If you haven't already, make sure to click the link in the description and sign up for my free weekly newsletter, Finance Automation. I send a new copy every week with tips, tricks, and workflows just like this. And when you join, I'll send you a free copy of my guide to 15 5-minute finance automations that you can use right away. If you want more examples like this and real-world workflows you can apply, well, that's where I share them. So make sure to check it out. Agent mode in Excel is a signal, and it's flashing. Excel is no longer just a place where you build things manually. It can now analyze, it can explain, generate, and even recommend. That means a lot of the work that used to require a senior analyst sitting in a spreadsheet for hours is now happening automatically. Think about what that means. Variance explanations that used to be written by hand, data shaping that used to live in fragile Excel logic, basic modeling that used to require rebuilding files every month, insight summaries that used to be a manual step along the way. Those were the human value. And now they're becoming default features of the tool. So if your value is knowing how to do something in Excel, that value is rapidly shrinking. So take a look at this Excel agent mode example now that this tool is available to everyone. It used to be available only online, only if you were in beta, but now it's available as long as you have an active Copilot subscription. So we come into Excel, and now that this is available to everybody, you can just click these two buttons. You'll have agent mode here. You just need to have a Copilot subscription. We'll turn that on. So now agent mode can work with anything in our workbook just like a person. So we're going to give it a very basic prompt and say, please build functional 3 statement model for the F9 finance chain of coffee shops. I love my F9 finance chain of coffee shops. Can't live without coffee. And that's all we're going to prompt it. Nothing fancy, no prompt engineering. We're going to send that off, and we're going to let Excel agent mode do its work. And you will not believe what happens. And there it is. Excel agent mode has built an entire 3-statement model and left us instructions and assumptions. So here's where to edit all the assumptions. You can show the details of how it ran and how it did its calculations. Here's our inputs tab. It's, things always need changes, but it's pretty darn good. Here's our income statement. So 24 through 29. Here's our balance sheet all set up, our cash flow, and it was even nice enough to include checks and make sure that the balance sheet balances. I mean, remember 6 months ago when AI tools couldn't do basic formulas, and now they're building in checks and everything actually balances. Cash flow reconciles, and there's revolver limit headroom. An entire 3-statement model in just a couple of clicks. But this doesn't make finance pros obsolete. What it does is it changes what high-value finance work looks like. So if Excel can now do more of your work, then the real question becomes, what's your job now? Well, this is where most people I see get it wrong. They see this shift and think they just need to become even better at Excel, even better at other tools. But the real shift isn't about skill level. It's about changing how you think about your role inside the finance organization. Now, before I go further, if you have questions so far, drop them in the comment. I read every single one, and I am more than happy to help. So how do you do this transition? Well, step 1, go from tasks to workflows. Stop optimizing individual tasks. Start redesigning the full work. If you do something every month, making the spreadsheet faster isn't leverage. Designing a system that runs that process end to end without manual steps, that's leverage. That's how you stop repeating work and you start building something that lasts. Step 2, go from files to decision. Stop delivering files and start delivering decisions or supporting decision. If you send a deck, your role is execution. You're handing something off and hoping it changes behavior. If you send insights that are already framed for action, then your role shifts into strategy. That's when leadership starts pulling you into conversations early. You're no longer reporting what happened, you're helping shape what happens next. Step 3 in the transition, go from being a builder to being an architect. Stop being the builder and become the architect. Your job isn't to be good at Excel anymore. Your job is to make Excel skills irrelevant by designing systems that don't depend on you manually rebuilding things. The fastest analysts just aren't winning anymore. The best architects are. Now, here's why most finance automation fails. It fails because people automate bad processes. They take something messy, fragmented, and broken, and they try to make it faster with automation. If you automate a bad process, you stay busy and you have a faster bad process. But if you redesign, you get leverage. And this framework is what actually unlocked it for me. And real quick before the framework, if this is useful, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every week, and I don't want you to miss what's coming next. So the framework, eliminate, simplify, automate. First, you eliminate. This is where you remove work that doesn't drive decision. Zombie reports that no one actually uses. Check the box reconciliations that exist because they always have. Slides that get glanced at and forgotten. If it doesn't directly support a decision, it doesn't deserve automation. It deserves to be removed immediately. Second, Simplify. This is where most teams skip ahead too fast, and it's why their automation ends up brittle. Before you automate anything, you have to simplify the process itself. That means killing unnecessary handoffs between people and teams. Every handoff has a chance for something to break or get delayed. It means standardizing your inputs so you're not reconciling 5 slightly different versions of the same data every month. And it means reducing approvals, so work doesn't stall just because it's sitting in someone's inbox. Now, all that sounds basic, but it's actually where most of the leverage comes from. It tends to be the most skipped step. And you have to remember, complexity is the enemy of leverage. Now, after you've eliminated and simplified, then it's time for step 3, and only then do you automate. Most people automate chaos. I've learned to eliminate and simplify first. Now, that's how you build systems that actually stay stable instead of breaking every time something changes. And this is where AI becomes a force multiplier. It's not just answering questions, but helping design workflows. I use AI to help map processes, to generate workflow logic, and coordinate agents so that work flows automatically between systems. Excel becomes a trigger, a validator, a viewer, not the engine. Let me show you an example that puts all of this into practice. Now, what you're looking at on the screen, this is a month-end agent I've designed. This tool is designed to intake prior ways that you've reported, the way you talk about the business, the way you understand the business, and to take in fresh data from your month-end close. It's going to analyze all that through an AI agent. It's going to create your variance commentary, and it's going to automatically email that commentary out for the people who need it. The entire core initial month-end process all done with one click of a button. And actually, in this case, not even a click of the button. I have this set up so it runs automatically at 9 a.m. on workday 4 of the close. Now, that is automation coming together, and let me show you how this works. So you click the button. This is going to simulate it triggering again. This runs automatically every month. It's going to go get data from Google Drive where our ERP files are, where our prior reports are. It's going to extract that. It's going to clean the data automatically. It's going to feed it into an AI agent that's going to evaluate the information, and then it's going to prep it to send out for an email. Now, this is just one example with one set of tools. Think about this workflow. Before, you would have been sitting in Excel building a model to do the variance analysis. You would have been sitting in Excel building a model to clean the data. All of that is happening automatically. And you know what you're doing? You're supporting the business. You're looking for opportunities to improve the business, to add revenue, to reduce costs. You're taking time to be strategic or automate other processes to make things run better. You don't need to be the bottleneck, and you don't need to be the one sitting in Excel. Now, this is run, so let's go ahead and check out and see if that email actually generated. And indeed it has. Here's the email. So you can see this is our June 2023 month-end recap. This is for the F9 Finance coffee stores. I gave it old data just for example purposes. Sharing the month-end recap, we have an executive summary. We have our top variances, favorable and unfavorable by our locations, point of sale highlights, risks watch out, and next step. And again, you can make this as fancy or as simple as you want, but the power is in the workflow. And what's really critical to understand is it's not about the individual tool. In an AI world, the leverage isn't knowing a tool. It's designing how these tools work together. That's the difference between being faster and being replaced. And you know what this unlocks for you? Fewer fire drills, less being the bottle, more strategic conversation. You stop being the person who updates things and becomes the person who shapes business outcomes. Excel skills can get you hired, but systems thinking, that gets you promoted. Now, if you want to see what this looks like in practice, watch my video on turning month-end into a 30-minute system. I'll put the link to the video right here. That's where this really becomes real. I'm going to teach you how to do it, and you won't believe how easy it is. I'll catch you over there. Until then, this is Mike signing off from F9 Finance. Cheers.